let me break down the scandal. Then I'll give the specifics that I think are going on, and then how big of a deal I think it is. Signal's an encrypted app. It's not the preferred method that government employees are supposed to handle communications through work, possibly because it doesn't retain the information, and there could be laws that say that you have to retain information, possibly because it's not a secure, and so if you're using classified information, there is discrepancy on this now. Ratcliffe claims that during the Biden administration, they changed this rule, and now the Biden administration said that you can use Signal for work communications, barring that it's not specifically classified, etc. So if that's legal, then we'll have to have that conversation then. Nonetheless, what happened was this anti-Trump journalist Goldberg from The Atlantic was added to a conversation where you had a bunch of Trump people like J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, Michael Waltz, National Security Advisor. They're talking about the plan to possibly attack these Houthi pirates. Goldberg breaks this story the day now before sort of congressional hearing on that sort of thing. That's the scandal. Goldberg claims there's classified information. Now, what Sparky heard and what Hegseth was saying, and this is the confusion that people are getting, both sides wrong on this. Hegseth's argument's like, this is bullshit. Why would you believe this dude that's peddled, this Goldberg dude that's peddled lie after lie after lie, anti-Trump lie, lied us into the Iraq war, suckers and losers hoax. Why would we believe him? Okay? That's Hegseth. But what Hegseth's not saying there, yeah, this was all screenshotted and faked. None of this conversation happened. Hegseth is admitting the screenshots that we see are real, and that Goldberg was there, apparently. What Hegseth's saying is, him saying that there were classified war plans being spoken of is bullshit. The other side is saying, well, Hegseth's blatantly lying because we've already seen that people have admitted that it's true. Right, but what Hegseth's not saying that Goldberg's lying about these specific screenshots. He's saying he's lying when he says, oh, and trust me, bro, the ones that I can't show you are classified. That's the discrepancy. So I saw like Konstantin Kisin, is that his name? He was like, why would like Hegseth and them even deny this? Like, it's bullshit. It's already been admitted. No. What Konstantin's missing is Hegseth's denying that there was classified information or war plans being discussed. Yeah, there's mention of high-side communication, right? In these chat logs, it's clear that it was sort of from what we can see, it's like a conversation. It'd be like if you and your buddy are at work and you're messaging each other like, hey, what do you think about this meeting tomorrow? Should we suggest like investing 5% of our 401k in whatever? Your buddy's like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. I have concerns, but fuck it. Let's do it. All right, man. Let's switch to the official company email and have a conversation. That's sort of what seems to be going on. It's sort of like some conversational style, like, hey, blah, 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 blah. All right, now we got to switch to the high side communication to talk about more classified shit. Now, that doesn't mean that there still wasn't things that won't retroactively be considered classified. But it does seem like they were at least aware, hey, if we're going to talk about stuff that we absolutely know is classified, we should take it to these other channels. So it does seem like there was that sort of awareness, which seems to go against sort of the narrative that this was willful, So, I personally don't believe anything that Goldberg says. By the way, what's his first name? Is it Jonah? Or it's not Jonah. There's another guy named Jonah Goldberg. I don't know Goldberg's first name. Anyways, I don't believe shit he says without proof. He could swear on whatever holy book that he uses. The Bible, the Quran, the Old Testament, whatever. No, I swear. I'll believe it when I see it. Jeffrey Goldberg, there we go. Jonah Goldberg's another annoying shit. Um, I just don't believe him. However, it's not dispositive. Even liars sometimes are telling the truth. So he may be telling the truth. So I caution anyone who's like, he's definitively, I know that he's full of shit lying. Because when you say that, what you're implicitly saying is, okay, but if he was telling the truth, it would be a big deal. And so then if he produces receipts, now you got to man up. So he may be telling the truth. I don't know. Let's assume that he is and discuss how bad it is. Let's assume that there was, like he's saying, that there were specific conversations about who would be targeted. Let's assume it said this leader, Jim Smith, the Houthi pirate. Let's assume that the chat log said, yeah, we're going to target Jim Smith. It's going to be at 3 p.m. It's going to be in this location. How bad is that? It's not good. But it's not horrible either. It's not the end of the world. The truth is, this shit happens all the time. And I understand every lefty out there that's watching is going to be like, prove it. Let's see the proof. Let's see the proof that happened in Biden or Obama. Blah, 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 blah. We can see the proof in the form of the Hillary Clinton email server. But the truth is, everybody knows, if you know anyone that works, I barely know anyone, but I've talked to people that do, everybody's using these oft fucking official platforms to communicate. Like, let's take the inverse of it. You remember when Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, the anti-Trump FBI folk, they were using their official phone to discuss, like, their romance and how they needed an insurance policy against Trump and blah, 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 blah. Do you really, one, that's probably not appropriate to be using your official communication devices for that. But second, one of the things that always amazed me is, it's like, we always assume, oh yeah, that's where every one of the communications would have happened. It's where they all would have happened. As if it was impossible for them to have, like, I don't know, a personal phone? Let's see all the Crossfire Hurricane documents. But only those that were sent through official channels. Not if they were sent through Signal, right? I've said this. I'm one of the only people that I know that will end up being completely consistent with the Hillary Clinton scandal and with this scandal. First off, fight me, bro, if you think I'm wrong. The Hillary scandal is 10 times worse. This is example of, now this could get worse. We could find out that there is all sorts of crazy conversations going on through Trump's team on Signal. But right now what we have is one conversation that a journalist was added to on Signal. It's not good, but compare that to how many people were involved in these communications with Hillary that didn't have security clearances, a private server that for months, if not years, was kept in her bathroom, that there are accusations that was credible accusations that foreign entities got access to this, unlike what we have now with this Signal conversation. Then they deleted subpoenaed evidence. It's just worse on almost every scale. And yet my argument with the Hillary thing was, I was one of the only people I know that was like, I didn't particularly think Hillary should have gone to jail for that. I heavily suspect that the reason that she had that private server was to avoid Freedom of Information Act requests and government oversight. I think that's why she was doing it. So that her communications, if she decided to delete some incriminating stuff, it would be far more difficult than if it was on official government computers with official government platforms that would have been out of their hands. Instead, do it on a private server, have your own tech team. But it doesn't matter what I heavily suspect the reasoning was for that, because I know, and I said so at the time, that, look, clumsy mishandling of classified information and not using proper channels is something that almost everyone in Washington is doing. Now, if we decide, okay, shit's going to change now, fine. I don't have a problem with that. You know what the chances of me handling classified information are in my life? So, pretty much zero. I guess never zero. Maybe I'll run for Congress and win again. Right? But it doesn't personally affect me. But what I don't want is either side using to break the sort of standard that we have to go after their political opponent. Yeah, Sparky's handling classified documents. So if they say, okay, now we're going to take this serious after Hillary. But they didn't. They set the standard with Hillary and the Democrats were fine with it. No reasonable prosecutor would charge. Okay. No one had to resign in shame. Okay. And they deleted subpoenaed evidence and no charges were brought against anyone, which that should have been charged. That part of the deleting of subpoenaed evidence, that's serious obstruction of justice. That should have been charged. But as far as the private server, it's not good. It warranted investigating. Okay. But I was fine with there not being charged. I wasn't fine with the way it was done. Because apparently Loretta Lynch personally told the FBI, like, hey, we're not, even if you recommend charges, we're not going to go through with it, so don't recommend them. And it seems like they jumped through hoops. The first statement that James Comey was going to make said that she engaged in gross negligence, which is the standard for charging, so they had to change that, etc. But that was basically my take on it. I wouldn't have lost sleep if she was charged, don't get me wrong. But that's basically my take on it. So today, it's like, yeah, I don't think anyone did anything here that raises to the level of criminality that I would recommend charges. Now, there's one potential, and that would be if Goldberg somehow hacked his way. He wasn't invited, but he hacked his way into this chat, which I don't believe anyone's alleging. Other than that, you saw people today saying, Democrats saying, we want to see the transcripts. Maybe congressional oversight will subpoena the transcripts. Then Trump's team should delete everything. Simple. That's the standard. That's the standard set through Hillary's team. You heard them saying, well, Signal deletes things every 30 days. Cool. Be like, well, clearly we had the implicit understanding, seeing as how we were using a platform that we knew was going to delete things, that we knew that this stuff needed to be deleted. So we had an oh shit moment once it was subpoenaed, and we decided to go ahead and delete it. And the Democrats will just have to go, yeah, fair enough. Totally legit. And they'll say, wait a minute, who did you talk to? Who told you that? I don't remember. I don't remember. That's it. All the Democrats you see, all the people I debate that you see on X today, we demand accountability. Show me one. Show me one that said it was outrageous that Hillary's team deleted subpoenaed evidence and there was no punishment. Show me one of them. Oh, that's right, there's zero after I was yelling and screaming about it. So that's the standard. That's the standard we've all come to accept. So, there you have it.